and welcome to Barb Talks. Today I'm doing some book reviews on some books that have been around for a while, but that I have just discovered. One is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury, and the other is Cold Comfort Farms by Stella Gibbons. Both of these books have interested me for different reasons. There's Mr. Ray Bradbury himself. What I liked about this book, even though it was written, these chronicles, in the 40s, it talks about the time in 2030 and 2031, I think about through 2037 and what life might be like then. Our technology got ahead of our intelligence. We had all these things we had invented, but our morality and our understanding of our technology hadn't quite caught up with the technology. As we invent things thinking they're going to be really good, and then somebody finds some terrible use for them. And that's kind of where this Martian Chronicles is, where all these people start out that are going to explore Mars, and then they end up setting up their technology, the first people that discover it, and then the next people come and the next people, and pretty soon the same bad things that were happening on Earth in this dystopian novel end up happening on Mars, and they end up destroying everything everywhere on Earth and in Mars. And then a few people end up starting their life again of, okay, there's, two families, one with boys and one with girls, and they both implant themselves on Mars at the last chronicle with the hope in the future that they can develop land again. That was a fantasy that all this gloom happens, and then we should learn from these terrible things that we do so that we don't do those terrible things. But anyway, that was what I got out of Ray Bradbury's The Martian Chronicles. There was more to it than that, but that was just the overview for me. Now, Cold Comfort Farms was written in 1932 by a woman. It had a different take to it. In fact, when I first started reading it, this upper class 19-year-old girl who was kind of snarky, but it ended up where that snarky girl, or what seemed like snark, it wasn't really snark. It, I guess, was just the way that 19-year-old girls think, where they've got the whole world in front of them. The whole book is just a not beat down thing. She's looking for an adventure. She's looking for something that she can sink her teeth into. After her parents died, but she didn't really know her parents. They were like rich people that were always off traveling the world, and she was always left with these other people anyway. So she grew up pretty much on her own, and it wasn't like a sob story, poor me. It was kind of like, oh, that's just the way it is, and I'm enjoying my life, and now my parents are gone, and I'm 19, and what am I going to do with my life? And her friend is going, well, you need to stay with me and get a job. And she's going, no, I think I want to just mooch off my relatives. And you're thinking, okay. And so she decides she's going to write to all of her relatives and all these second cousins and all these people she's never met before and ask if she can come live with them. And then she picked out what she thought would be the most interesting, challenging one. And it was this Cold Comfort Farms in Sussex, England. So it's written very much from the English perspective. So she goes out to this farm, and everybody, she was telling her friend before she went, she goes, yeah, it's probably got people there like Seth and Reuben that are like, terrible hicks and blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out she does have cousins, Seth and Reuben, and a bunch of other cousins, and it kind of shows you some of the people that it talks about. So she goes out there, and she basically has all these adventures, and she changes everybody for the better. Whereas this book was men from Earth go up and screw everything up, and this is a teenager from Earth goes and makes everybody's life better just by meddling in good ways. And so this had like all kinds of happy endings, and this had a dystopian ending. I have to say, I really enjoyed this one. It was nice having something that wasn't the dystopian, oh, we've got a terrible future ahead of us. I mean, I just am kind of tired of reading about that kind of stuff. I like the idea of imagining somebody going into a situation and you're wondering, how is she going to solve this mystery? How is she going to make a positive difference? And she doesn't even, the whole thing is she's not saying I'm making a positive difference. She's going, ooh, this is going to be fun. Let me go like toy with these people. And then she ends up doing all these good things. And it was like totally unexpected and a different way of writing. Between the two books, I would recommend Cold Comfort Farms by Stella Gibbons as a book to read that has a different focus to it and is so light and breezy and fun. On the back it says, "Read what others have said. The great parody of the overlush darling buds of Mayness. If you don't want to feel the crimson fires of hell a-licking at your feet, read this book. I wish I'd had Cold Comfort Farm with me in the woodshed." So it's a book of humor. Just wanted to give you an overview of some of the books that I've been reading lately. Let me know in the comments below if you have any feelings about these books and if you've liked them or if you have other books that you'd recommend that I might read that are similar to this one. Thanks for watching Barb Talks.